Welcome back, Grid 7 here, and have this little article here talking about these are the craziest recommendations of the California Reparations Task Force. This is an opinion piece by this guy, Jack, here. And from what I kind of read, he maybe not as crazy about it as well, but let's just see what some of these crazy things are here. Last week, the Reparations Task Force in California, a state where slavery was never legal, by the way, just released its final 1,100-page report, which includes more than 100 policy recommendations. That's 11 pages per recommendation. 11? Wow. That just goes on to say some of these recommendations are reasonable, but many more are completely absurd. Here are a few of the craziest. First, while the report does not give specific dollar amounts that should be paid, CNN reported that it used a formula that concludes each eligible resident may be owed up to $1.2 million. The report emphasized that the final estimates are conservative. But then again, so did those who made proposals for the payment up to $5 million per resident. The guy goes on to go, I see an upper estimate according what this looks like according to the task force. 1.2, I just have a whole problem with this because it's the whole entire thing. You give people money who aren't used to it and they act foolishly. And honestly, what we're going to have is a bunch of people who get a bunch of money and they're going to be broker afterwards than before. Broker, more broke, whatever. Next, the report recommended, number 1, eliminating test requirements for all state universities' graduate programs. 2, removing all low-level crimes such as illegal camping, public intoxication, disorderly conduct, minor trespass, and public urination from purview of law enforcement. Yeah, that they reduced the whole entire, they increased the crime thing in California to $950 before they, it's still a kind of a crime, but it's not really a crime. And look how that's worked. This isn't going to help the black community one bit. And number 3, speeding up the timeline on the implementation of controversial ethics studies classes in K through 12 schools. It goes on, I'm sure, to removing the standards for graduate schools and becoming more permissive of public urination will really make the state a better place. Yeah, I'm not seeing that. Part of my whole thing with the whole entire graduate thing, you want people who come into those higher the master degrees and stuff like that to actually know what they're doing. But anyways, yet that is still just the beginning. The report recommended that the state abolish the death penalty, make Election Day a national holiday, do a systematic review of school discipline data in order to disrupt the school-to-prison pipeline. Instead of doing that right there, maybe we should be putting that money, instead of reviewing it, to trying to prevent it. And to me, part of that whole entire thing is to promote the black family again. But hey, that also, and eliminate black child support debt. I'm just not sure what that means, but anyways. It also recommended abolishing cash bail, encouraging the federal government to give large-scale reparations in addition to state-level reparations, mandating anti-racism training for housing employees. I always find the anti-racism training to be pretty racist, really. And implementing rent control along with a massive increase in the minimum wage, likely raising it above $18. Not seeing where that's going to help anybody. No. Seems like every time we increase the minimum wage, all we do is hurt the poor even more. But anyways, it's likely never to occur to the authors of this report to consider the actual economic impact of rent control. For example, which research shows makes housing more expensive and less available. Additionally, it calls to eliminate disparities. The word disparities is used 450 times in the report. It domains such as STEM, prisons, and education, but how exactly those disparities ought to be eliminated is largely left unclear. And that's part of the thing they don't know, because they just put it in there and it's a little keyword. Oh, look at what we're doing. We'll toss some money at it, but we have absolutely no clue what's going on about it. In fact, completely vague language, which sometimes goes on for paragraphs at a time with zero substance, is commonplace in the report. For example, in a section about climate resilience hubs, what the heck is that? I don't know. Somebody knows, you can put it in the comments. The report said the task force recommends the legislature provide economic support to ameliorate these disparities through the development of climate-resilient hubs, community-driven facilities that support residents, facilitate communication, distribute aid, and provide an opportunity for communities to become more self-sustaining during climate emergencies. What does that even mean? This is a bunch of keywords and phrases grouped together that sounds like they're actually doing something, but in the end, no one has a clue what's going on and nothing gets done because no one knows what's going on. This report amounts to an extended liberal wish list under the guise of a serious study and proposal. It is doubtful even the left-wing California legislature will adapt these recommendations. It is certainly important to understand Americans' history of slavery and discrimination. We should also be supportive of actual policies that help up people from low-income communities. In addition, in education, school choice is a perfect example. That's something I've actually been hearing quite a bit with affirmative action. It failed because it never improved schools in the black community, because there was no need to improve the schools. Well, honestly, my thought about the whole entire reparations thing is it's a big Pandora's box that will cause splits even more. No, we think there's racism now. It will definitely flash over, and reparations will be one of the best things to groups like KKK than anything else. No, and realistically, it won't do what people think, because what will happen is they'll get this all type of stuff, and a couple years later they'll still be wanting more, and that's the problem with this. They always want more. Now, let me know what you think. I'm on YouTube. Come on over to Rumble, me on over there, and I'll see you next video.